welcome everybody to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Adam Freeman coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. Paul Brees is in Brentwood, Tennessee, and had a little road trip today or yesterday. You did, and he was actually in Georgia, right, Paul?
Yeah, I headed down to see my dad, and about the first time in about a year, I guess. So since I was COVID free, right?
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Take advantage of
he
that.
gave us the green light for my wife and I to trek down to Blairsville, Georgia,
Up in the
retirement
mountains.
capital of the world, by the way.
Oh, really?
They're selling RVs and mobile homes on the side of the roads. It's exciting down in Blairsville.
Lots of lakefront property there that you can get for a steal. Apparently, is how that goes. But well, that's cool. You're able to see him. This is our New Year's Eve edition of Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Is one college game going on tonight. I almost said Orange Bowl. It's a Cotton Bowl taking place at AT&T Stadium, and Oklahoma, Paul, is absolutely destroying Florida. And I understand that you got four of your top guys for Florida not playing, but the other guys that are in uniform, they look like they're not even interested in doing anything right now. And Kyle Trask is a shadow of what he was all year. What are you thinking with just watching this first half?
Well, the young men who are taking the place of the four guys that you're referring to that opted out were backups for a reason. Okay.
Oh, you're finding that out real easy right now.
And
yeah,
obviously, the other surrounding players make Kyle Trask look the way he's supposed to look. Obviously, so it's a glimpse to it gives the NFL GMs a glimpse of, hey, we need a quarterback. We're gonna have to surround Kyle Trask with some players.
Right. Like if he's not going to go high now. I mean, because think about this, the guys that go high, they have nothing. Like they don't have any. The reason why they're going high is because they're getting drafted high. A team that has no weapons at all. So
except for the Jones guy at Alabama.
Right. So let me throw this out there to you. Kyle Trask, does he sound like somebody that a Bill Belichick would take a flyer on? Because, the Jared Stidham, that's not working out. He's not capable at the NFL level. And I think everybody pretty much knows that Cam Newton is not going to be around there next year. Do you think that if you're Bill Belichick, you're looking at Kyle Trask going, okay, if we get him some weapons, he's got the talent to do it. But see, he might fall far enough to where they could get him in like the second round or something.
Yeah, I think Kyle Trask maybe resembles a Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, I mean, he might be the same guy.
Belichick thought he could get Stidham to the spot. He said, Garoppolo, see you later. I think we have your replacement, right? And it just hadn't panned out. I don't know the reason why. They, as a poker reference, right? They shoved all in on Stidham, and it kind of backfired on them. And they went to Cam Newton thinking, okay, well, he can at least get us to the playoffs, right? Well, obviously they had the opt-outs go on, and then Cam Newton, it became real that he can't throw the ball.
No, he can't throw the ball. He's a run-first guy, and and couldn't have picked the worst year for this to happen if you're a Patriots fan, because the Dolphins are good and the Bills, we're finding out the Bills are absolutely legit. They are
really good.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go power rankings, NFL power rankings, which is I think something we ought to talk about tonight, and maybe the college football playoff, and then we're going to give you guys some pointers if you're having any small gatherings at your house tomorrow night. Brees is going all out. He's going back to back tonight and tomorrow night. So you may have to take a nap tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. Well, just like you were just talking about, with any sports, when the playoffs start, there's always you call a team you don't want to play, a team you don't want to play first, a team you want to avoid. That's the Buffalo Bills right now.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
100%. That is not who the Tennessee Titans want to play anywhere early on in this thing.
No.
Let's avoid it like the plague.
Yeah, and let's talk about the Titans for a second. They don't make my top 5. Um,
And they shouldn't.
and no, I mean they're not making my top 5. I mean, if you go top 5 AFC and NFC, they're not in the top 5. I don't think, just because the AFC just has a lot of good teams in it this year, and Tennessee's had a couple bad losses, and their defense is horrible. Like I mean, I was like, when you were talking about it, I was like, was it really that bad? And then I watched the Green Bay game, and I was like, okay, I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but holy cow, these guys are running wide open. Like, you only got 9 guys on defense. I mean, it was crazy. So let me throw this out at you, and I kind of hit you about this earlier today when we spoke, dude. It could be an epic upset this week. The Houston Texans, who are absolutely horrible, but they've got weapons and they got a quarterback and they got some receivers. They could absolutely torch this Tennessee secondary and could send them home where they won't even make the playoffs. I mean, that would be pretty bad. I mean, I would hate that, but it could happen. I know Tennessee's favored by 7.5. I see Houston being able to put up lots of points on them. Does this game scare you at all as a Titans fan?
Well, 100% it scares me for 2 reasons. Okay. We've never had really good success with the Titans at Houston because Deshaun Watson seems to be a different player on the turf. Number 2, J.J. Watt called his teammates out after the game last week and basically said, we're professionals. You better show up. And when a guy like J.J. Watt, who, I'm not saying he's at the end of his career, but he's only got a few more years left in the tank, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's such a veteran and a defensive MVP, right?
I feel like he's got the respect of his team.
He's got the respect of the locker room. So now they're rallying around, right? And if they're going to play it for anybody, they're going to play it for themselves. And 100% makes me really nervous as a Titan fan to win 10 games and be left out of the playoffs.
Yeah, you could be 10-6 and be sitting at home, and that is a real possibility, because the way that this could shake out. I mean, man, I'm telling you, I see it happening. I can see the writing on the wall, and I could see that happening with this whole speech. And I love the speech when he's basically like, "Look, man, we get paid a lot of money, and to not care and to not go to treatments and not go to rehab and do all this, not do what you're supposed to. It's your job." And so, I love the passion in his speech. You just got to hope that it came through. And if it did come through, Titans could be in trouble.
Well, let me throw this out before you go a different direction on the Titans. The Titans kicker and the punter are both out this week.
I saw that.
And so there's been an emergency phone call
to Sarah,
great Sarah Fuller, and hoping that she will answer the call from Mike Vrabel and John Robinson to join us, because we need an SEC player
caliber,
caliber player,
to
help us move on to the playoffs. In fact, I mean, Gostkowski, he's like 41. This could be her way to just break into the league.
Get into the league that way. Why not? I mean, heck, shoot, I think that's definitely something that they should be thinking about for sure. I mean, but yeah, I saw that the punter Brett Kern was not going to be playing. I didn't know the kicker was out too.
Yeah,
that's not good. So, when you're talking, like I said, top 5, I think it's pretty easy. easy top 5. You know, you got Kansas City up there at the top. I don't know, like whether Bills, Steelers, with no real home field advantage. I don't think it matters. Bills, Steelers, which is 2, which is 3. I think the Bills are 2, just because I think Josh Allen is that good. He's had a historically great season numbers wise, and as far as the rest, I think you probably Ravens, then maybe Browns. Browns are just kind of if they can get everybody healthy, that's kind of their main issue. As far as the NFC goes, I think you're looking at Green Bay, obviously. New Orleans is up there, and here's what's funny too is you could end up with a team like Arizona, or you could end up with Tampa as like a 5 seed having to go play at the NFC East winner on the road. That might be the best draw ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The only bad part about it, if you're Tom Brady and the Bucks, is it's going to be a cold weather game, right?
Unless it's Dallas.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it could be Dallas. If Dallas wins and Giants lose, then it's Dallas.
Well, I like the Skins. Or I'm sorry, the football team.
We'll talk about Skins later, but it has nothing to do with monikers, okay? I will root for the Washington football team over the Cowboys just because I'm huge Alex Smith fan after what he was able to do this year. All right, college football playoff. Obviously, we're at halftime here of the Cotton Bowl, which is a blowout right now. Florida just not showing up at all. So the first game is Alabama Notre Dame on Saturday. This is looking like it's probably going to be a replay of the 2012 game where they beat them by like 4 touchdowns. I just don't see Notre Dame hanging. What do you think?
You know what? I think Brian Kelly has given us a glimpse with his comments about whatever happens. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of.
Oh yeah, he knows the writing's on the wall. When a coach says that,
yeah,
he's got no answer.
Yeah, I think he knows it's not good and it's not going to be good, and which is great because probably like you and me, anybody that beats Notre Dame I'm a big fan of, right?
Yeah, they're my favorite. They're my favorite team.
It just did now come out that Clemson's offensive coordinator is going to miss the game because of COVID.
I just saw that
protocol.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know how much that plays into a factor, but
I mean, all those guys know everybody else's job. I mean,
yeah,
Trevor Lawrence, you could say, hey, just go call your own play. I mean, pretend you're at Cartersville High School and go call your own plays. Like, all right, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Read the defense and call your own play. Okay. I think he'd be fine. I mean, see at Clemson when you got a guy that's won 40 plus games at quarterback, I think your game planning is not as critical as say somebody else. But yeah, I think you're going to end up with Alabama versus Clemson again in the national title game. And
I think both semifinal games are blowouts.
Yeah, I really do. I totally think they and I think your Alabama Clemson, it's gonna come up to which defense can make a play. It's gonna come over to turnovers because that's when Alabama has lost in the past, is they've turned the ball over. Like they're their own worst enemy. They're the only people that can really seem to beat them is themselves. They don't turn the ball over, they don't lose. So turnover battle is going to be key. And that game is the 8th of January, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. And, I think Alabama has the right mix of guys this time around. Even though they lost Jalen Waddle, I think they come home with another national title.
Yeah, but you know why? Because they didn't win it last year. And Nick Saban, such a true competitor, right? He's going to make sure that, everybody's in the right spot, right frame of mind, and they're going to
Yeah,
get it done. Very businesslike, right?
very much so. Very much so. But
Not a party atmosphere.
no, no. Well, that gets us to kind of our last segment, which is kind of a special one this time. We talked about this earlier. When you mentioned to me you were having back-to-back New Year's Eve gatherings because your kids, at least 4 of your 6 kids, dissed you tomorrow night. They got other options, better offers. So you guys are having something going on tonight, a Festivus New Year tonight, and then
Festivus New Year, New Year's Eve.
I hear you. All right, and then tomorrow night there'll be a little bit smaller gathering with probably your 2 youngest, Maddie and
Yeah, Maddie and Bryson,
the bees,
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast himself. But so we got to talking about, okay, what are some things food wise that you got to have if you're hosting people for a New Year's Eve party? What are some things that you absolutely have to have? So I'm going to kick it to you because you are the host with the most. You got to get it going. I know you have some stuff there right now. What's your go-to that you got to have?
Well, first of all, let me explain to some people. My wife is the, for whatever reason, this New Year's Eve, or I'd like to call it practice round, that with my adult kids, and you talked about they having better options. So we've already partaken, right? The food has been laid out, and they've been grubbed on. Tonight the options were hot chicken.
I mean,
We had some
Nashville.
Yep. We had some like these Southwestern egg rolls. We had some meatballs. We had some queso, and we had some cheese quesadilla for the younger folks in the crowd.
The kids' cheese quesadilla.
Yeah, I know. Can't go wrong, right?
Well, let's eat now. When you're talking cheese quesadilla, is that in a you make it in a pan? Do you have a griddle? You have a press? How you doing that?
Yeah, I know. It's probably more of a obviously I'm not the quesadilla maker, but yeah, they do it in a just in a pan, right?
Okay.
They flip it. It's like the old school grilled cheese style.
Gotcha. We actually got a quesadilla maker, which is, if you're into quesadillas, that's the way to go. I'm just telling you. You can crank those suckers out like your favorite local Mexican restaurant. I mean, left and right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like y'all had plenty of food. Now, is this going to be the same menu for tomorrow? You got
I would listen. Whenever all the kids are, I joke with my wife because I'm like, the only time I ever get a home cooked meal is when all the kids are in town, right? Or all the kids are here. Other than that, it's like grab something out of the freezer. I use the word joking because she does a great job. Obviously, if you know me, I'm fed well. And if you can see me, I'm fed well. But yes, do I think the menu will change? Well, we have some additional adults coming tomorrow that will bring new items in.
Okay.
And so
any idea what that's going to be?
I have no clue.
Dessert items, possibly.
What's that?
Some dessert items, possibly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And listen, there were dessert items down there, but I was just so eager to get the podcast going, man. I had to get up here. I'll go back down.
You'll be right. You'll go back down there and you'll partake. for us, it's been, in the past, and I think tomorrow night as well, we're going to have, again, not a big throwdown New Year's Eve party, but Leslie has two sisters and a brother, and her sisters usually come over, and the cousins, and we've all of us, including the cousins and the sisters, have all been practicing the social distancing and the mask wearing. So our exposure is low, so we feel like we could do that. Continue to do that tomorrow, provided the weather's not bad. We're looking at the weather; it may be an issue, but usually, and we've done that probably for the last 5 or 6 years. They all come over here, and sausage balls. Big fan sausage
Oh
balls.
yeah.
I could tear up those things. Potato skins.
It's a good one.
Potato skins with a little sour cream. That's always a winner. Jalapeno poppers.
Oh,
And
nice.
let me tell you something. You got to get to the store early if you want the jalapeno poppers.
You don't.
Listen, because they're popular, and those get
Taken early.
taken very early off the shelves. Um, so also one of my personal favorites is the pigs in a blanket.
Very good.
Loves some pigs in the blanket. And a little mustard, a little spicy mustard on them. Always good. And there's always stuff like popcorn, things of that nature. It's all finger foods for us.
Yeah.
Chicken tenders, cheese fries. I mean, the nutritional value of the stuff we got, it's zero, man. I mean, it's kind of like the thing we're like, okay, this is the last thing. Starting tomorrow, we're gonna eat better. We're gonna we're gonna do all this stuff.
That's right.
I can go ahead and have this now, and it's gonna be fine. But we usually have some sort of game that we'll play or whatever. But it's a lot of fun, and of course the food is the key. The food is the absolute
Obviously.
key to it. Every now and then, I think a couple years ago, we had like some strawberry lemonade, which was good. Like homemade strawberry lemonade was pretty good stuff. And every now and then, somebody will bring some like a dessert, like a peanut butter pie. We had peanut butter pie once. That was great. But yeah, New Year's, a lot of it, just like you, man. I'm just like you. Our family, we just like to get together with our family and just have some food and just be together. And I'm not big on, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you the last time I went out on New Year's Eve. I just don't do it. I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested in doing it. And I know that's very contrary to what a lot of people do, but I mean, I'm 49 years old. I mean, I'm not. It just doesn't interest me to be out and about with all the crazies driving around on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Much rather, especially with the college football playoff, you got the games, you got bowl games. You can sit there, and watch the bowl games, play games, eat great food, and just hang out. And I like doing that. I know you do too. Well, I'm gonna let you get back to the New Year's Eve festivities.
Happy Festivus New Year's Eve.
Festivus New Year's Eve in Brentwood, Tennessee. Adam Freeman here in Atlanta, Georgia. You've been listening to the New Year's Eve version of Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul.